Brain box.
Pizza delivery drivers of Reddit, what was the most fucked up place you've ever stopped at? I was delivering chicken, KFC, not pizza, but my worst stop was pathetic, really. I knock on the door, I hear a kid yell I got it, he opens the door, and runs up the stairs yelling to his friends the chicken assholes here. The chicken assholes here, after which a crowd of about 8 preteens at the top of the stairs start throwing change down the stairs at me to pay for the delivery. I asked if they could hand me the money, they laugh and just throw the quarters/dimes/etc harder. So I picked up the bag of food, winged it up the stairs at them, it hit the wall, and I split. Told the boss what happened, and if they call to complain I won't listen or apologize, I'll just quit, if he brings it up. I found out later he did get a call, and told them to get stuffed. Good boss. Don't fuck with the colonel. I didn't end up delivering the pizza, but the address was an abandoned house. It was around dusk and the house was so obviously uninhabited. I could see trees growing through the windows and the backside of the house was crumbling so badly I could see to the backyard from the street. The instructions were to come around back. I double checked the address, after locking my doors called the customer a couple of times, called the store, and told them what was up, and why I wasn't delivering the pizza and headed out. I mean seriously, who would have been dumb enough to go to the back of that house? Someone ordered pizzas to a funeral. There were a ton of people there, all somber and dressed in black, while I rolled up in my bright red greasy t-shirt lol. Definitely one of the most awkward experiences I've had. So while I was an undergrad, I worked as a pizza delivery driver. I had a delivery to a dodgy part of town with a delicious pie. When I got within a couple miles of the residence, a local sheriff's deputy got in front of me. We made all the same turns. Then as we got closer, another got in front of him, and one behind me. I start freaking out a bit as I'd been smoking some weed, but carry on. Finally, we all get to the same residence which is totally surrounded by police in riot gear, guns drawn, all that shit. I get out with my pizza and discover the house I'm supposed to deliver to is the one with SWAT out in front. One of the officers waves me off and says, he's not gonna need that today, and they proceed to breach the door, to which I return to the car with a free pizza and get the hell out of there. They were added to our do not deliver list, but I don't think we ever heard from them again. A whorehouse. Lady who received the pizza was masturbating at the same time. Delivered pizza for a while in high school and college. Never anything too sketchy. Used to deliver all the time to a level 3 sex offender. I never felt too threatened as an 18-year-old, but the guy gave me the absolute creeps. He lived in a tiny condo, linoleum floors and cheap furniture, like he had the same everything since the 70s. He would have me bring the pizza in and close the door behind me. There was a few seconds I'd be putting the pizza down with my back to him. It sounds rather mundane typing it out, but I can't really think of another time being around another person and being so absolutely creeped out. I never knew the exact details of his crimes, but the implication was kids. It sounds wrong to say, but I feel like, even if I wasn't told before the first delivery, I still would have come back to the shop and said that he probably has a kid's head in his freezer. Not really fucked up, but I delivered to a house and a nice middle-aged woman answered the door. I handed her the pizza, and she told me to hang on a second, so she could get cash for the tip. I waited by the door and this boy came into view down the hallway. He was probably like 14 to 17 years old, completely naked and staring at me. I didn't really know what was going on, but as it all kind of started making sense, like, oh, that's a naked teen. WTF. He was just kinda standing there staring, and then he kind of started adjusting himself. His mom came back and realized what was happening. At that point I kinda just shot my eyes down to the floor, and she told him to go to his room. She apologized to me and quickly explained that he was autistic and that he was supposed to be getting ready for a bath. 450 pounds naked woman with a snake around her neck invited me to come into her apartment. No thanks. A stoplight. I was a teenager and didn't deliver pizza for long. But on my way to a delivery I was at a stoplight and a guy jumped in my passenger seat while I was waiting. It was dark and I hadn't seen him come up to my car. He pulled a knife and started talking, but I'd already switched from startled to angry and pulled my boot knife. He stopped talking, looked at the knife then at me, left just as quickly as he'd gotten in. Looking back, my only regret is not quoting Crocodile Dundee. I delivered to a crack house where people were passed out with needles still in their arms. The guy who paid for the pizza was wearing a fursuit. He tipped though. Good dog. One of the drivers I worked with happened to be gay and delivered to this house across the street from an elementary school. When he got there, the assholes who opened the door decided it would be funny to throw dildos at him and call him names. Funny thing is, less than a month later the house got busted by the cops for manufacturing meth, so I guess karma worked out in the end.